Greetings, adventurers. I'm Dave Makes Noises. Welcome to Rip Daddy's house. I hope you've been working on your dental calluses because today we're asking the Interbutts, what situation did you somehow escape? My first ever time playing D&D, I was with a group of Discord friends playing a pre-made campaign called Bad Apples. As a joke, we decided to do an all-bard group consisting of a half-orc, me, bassist/backup vocalist, Lenog Killmaster, the tiefling lead singer H, the Easterling human Moa on drums, the frogfolk lead guitarist, Lonesome Sundown, and last but not least, our Scottish warforged Talus on the bagpipes. We all agreed that our bards used their bardic magics to make themselves sound like the metal band Skiltron. Our band got tasked with figuring out why some hard cider hadn't been delivered for the upcoming festival we'd been hired to play at. At the beginning of our adventure, we stumbled upon the deck of many things. Moa and Lonesome were eager to draw from it, H and Talus were against it, and Lenog was too busy eating all the tavern's free biscuits to care. Moa drew Knight and got a human male fighter to swear loyalty to her. Lonesome drew Gem, which he graciously split with the group, and Flames. The fact that nothing happened immediately set off my spider sense out of game. We then set out, killed some bandits, torched some possessed scarecrows, and exorcised a vengeful ghost that had forcefully merged with the soul of the murdered orchard owner/hard cider producer. The band figured out how to make the cider and delivered it just in time for the festival. Or so we thought. We returned to the town in flames and all of the residents slaughtered. That's when the noobs of the group learned what drawing the flames card meant. A 20-foot tall demon lord crushed Moa and Talus underfoot, backhanded the knight and H into a burning building that proceeded to collapse on them, and hurled the horses and cart at me, crushing my spine and pinning me up against the town well. I rolled a nat 20 to spit in the demon lord's eye and call him some nasty words before I bled out. The Demon Lord challenged Lonesome to a fight. Lonesome rolled a nat 20 with a plus 15 charisma mod to persuade the demon to instead draw from the deck. The demon accepted, but made Lonesome draw first, which he did, and the fucking mad lad drew Ace of Hearts. The Fates. He used it to erase the event of himself drawing the Flames card. Reality warped, the demon was gone, the town, its residents, and all the other band members were restored to life, with the only one remembering the Demon Lord being Lonesome. After that, we played our set and moved on to the next gig. Second to last 5th edition game I ever played before swearing off the system for good. I made a halfling rogue, but never once claimed to be a thief. To the contrary, I had it written that my character was a master of infiltration and exploration, specializing in locks, traps, and survival in both urban and semi-wild areas. Party sees a halfling in leather armor with multiple cheap daggers, immediately disregards all of the in-character introduction about not being a thief, and assumes thief. Whole party has 30 feet of movement. My character only has 25 feet of movement. Important fact for later. Whole party has dark vision. My character does not. Important fact for right now. After abandoning my character in the dead of night in a forest, the party assaults a tree fort of people trying to resurrect a long-banished dragon. Finally catch up to them after they've set the entire canopy on fire with no way down, and I have to make rolls to track down and rescue their unconscious bodies. Dawn comes, and we get new orders to meet with the Queen of the Feywilds to see why she seems so fucky. I make some rolls to notice barrels of hexed goop floating in the water and draw attention to the rest of the party, but they choose to ignore. Start lassoing the barrels one at a time, no help from literally anyone, roping the last barrel when the whole party decides to attack the Queen. They kill the Queen, then run away at a full sprint. Can't finish nabbing the last barrel, can't catch up to the party. Captured by King of the Feywild, but promise that if I can take him to the people who killed his wife, my character will be spared. Fey King takes over the cult's work of resurrecting the dragon to kill the beast himself. Oh, cool, so he's trying to accomplish the same job as us, I think, rationally. My biggest mistake yet since joining this group. Help guide the Fey King to the rest of the party, smack-talking them for the absolute morons they are. Even tell the king about the barrels of goop, and he understands what I was trying to do. Find the party, convince King to wait while I handle them, enabling him to take more pleasure in their helplessness. Reunite, ask what the fuck their malfunctions are, devolve into simultaneous in-character and out-of-character shouting match, resulting in someone saying I'm the worst thief ever in the history of D&D, despite repeatedly pointing out that I didn't make a thief character. All of a sudden, someone playing a character that is just the purple thing from League of Legends fires a man-portable cannon and sets off a war outside between the forces of the kingdom and the army of the Fey King. The ritual is begun and the dragon is summoned. Nab some jewels from a nearby tent as a bargaining chip, just in case. Party seeks refuge inside a cave under a mountain, forcibly collapses the entrance. We head inside, no light, only a few torches spread about. I'm once again playing an effectively blind character, and they all spread out, still able to see at full speed, abandoning me again. Encounter some enemies, end up with 1 hit point. Spend the next 3 sessions inside this cave at 1 hit point, no clue where anyone is. Cave is flooding with poison gas, then a player breaks down a wall that they heard water rushing behind. Cave is now flooding with water. Cue surprised Pikachu face from player. Find the rest of the party filling opening crates and stuffing rocks into their bags, guessing that some might contain fossils to sell later. Mountain rumbles as the dragon battles 2 warring armies outside and above. Caves start to collapse. We need to get out of here now. Nobody cares. Nobody listens. Go back to the entrance alone. Make checks to squirm through the collapsed rocks. Dragon looking right at me. Offer jewels and the promise I can get him more. Dragon's eyes roll back. Fei King is victorious. Fei King stabs my character at 1 hit point. Now he's bleeding out. Toxic fumes can be smelled seeping out of the collapsed cave entrance, followed by the feeling of wetness of groundwater, filling up the cave, and slowly leaking out the entrance. Everyone is dead. The kingdom has devolved into total war. The dragon is dead, and I pass the death save. Character wakes up in the arms of the NPC who hired us, tells the halfling that the mission was a partial success and that the reward will be whatever can be carried. Head back a few days later with a buttload of carts and hired hands with the promise of a cut of the profits. After selling all of the junk and gemstones from the dragon summoning ritual, and after paying all of the hired help their due, the final net profit was 53,688,211 gold pieces. Character retires from adventuring at level 2. So I have a story like this. I had, and am still running, a homebrew campaign, set in my own world I made. I have no guidelines from a different setting in which to run this campaign. It's fun, but obviously extremely ambitious for the first campaign I've ever run ever, and my first time playing D&D ever. Keep this in mind, because at the time I had no idea how challenge rating works. I threw 5 goblins at my party of level 1s, because I figured, well, goblins are only half a challenge rating, so they can't be that hard, right? Yeah, they nearly died, and that one was my fault, but that's not the story I want to tell. Oh no, the next time they really should have died was entirely their fault. The campaign was progressing, and the players were going to see the Duke in charge of half the continent, the Duke of Grandport. On the way there, they were passed by an inn being harassed by a large group of bandits, riding on horseback. I'm talking 11 bandits and a bandit captain. Keep in mind at this point, they had just gotten to level 3. Well, some of them. I didn't realize D&D used experience sharing. I didn't read the DMG all the way through. Scorp's Note. Who uses XP? Milestone leveling is infinitely better story-wise. Just saying. I had intended for them to try and intimidate the bandits into leaving, or talk to them and get some role-playing going. Yeah, the Eldridge Knight had other plans and just launched a firebolt at the bandit captain, which missed. So they had to deal with literally all of the bandits, which again were on horseback, all at the same time. They should have died. I'm still not entirely sure how they didn't. Probably because of an overpowered ability I allowed one of my players to have until we worked together and fixed it. But they killed all the bandits except 2, which ran away. Killed the bandit captain, and thus avoiding a side quest, obtained his ring of shield and all the money they had, and made out with the reward the innkeeper gave them. Luckily, I then came up with extra lore and had a fun side plot added in as a consequence, which more or less taught them to use their words instead of their fists 24/7. This is from a Naruto mod 5th edition campaign. My party ended up in a boss fight that by all means all 4 of us and my character's dog should have died during, but not only did we survive, we had brought that boss down to 30% of his hit points. We did have to let the boss escape or else he would have killed us. However, we weren't even supposed to have had that fight at level 4, and by all means we should not have survived that fight, but did. Our DM was so impressed that we got a level up just to reward that survival. Salutations, you bouncing buns of indelible divine light, and thank you for staying here with us until the curtain call. If you somehow escaped a sketchy situation, we want to hear about it in the comments below, and if you've got another story you'd like us to narrate, your best shot to shoot is in our official subreddit, r/Mr. Ripper. If you're looking for a group, we made a Discord server called Mr. Ripper's Group Finder, where DMs can post their games and players can respond for a slot. I hope this week you can spend some quality time with the people you love. I convinced Rip Daddy to make us a TikTok, and as I suspected, it is popping off over there. Please go stop on by and show some Rip Daddy love at Mr. Ripper D&D. And if you're not interested in that, you can always just follow me on TikTok or Instagram at Dave Makes Noises, and that brings me to the end of the ever-expanding list of calls to action, and therefore it is now time to thank you from the bottom of my icy Canadian heart for watching until the very end. Please sub for Nat 20s, Ring the bell if you know that Rip Daddy loves you, and we will see you on the next one.